Morning, students. Today is Tuesday, May 26th, and now we are on week 10 of online learning. So I just want to say that we only have 14 days left of 6th grade, and I hope that you stay motivated, that you keep trying your best to learn during this time. We are almost done, and you've all been doing so well, so keep up the good work. If you are someone who fell behind a lot, just know that you have 14 days left to make up your work so that you do not get too used for your final grades for 6th grade science. Alright, so with that being said, today we are going into the red folder. We ran out of colors, so we're going back to red. So it's red folder, online learning week 10. You can open up the slides, watch the video, look at the study guide, and then today's exit ticket is water cycle lesson number 4. So please make sure you look at the red folder titled Online Learning Week 10 and open up everything inside of that folder. And of course, if you still need to catch up, all the other assignments are in these folders over here, starting with the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, black, and white. So I open up the slides and it takes me over here. I'm going to press present. So today you're going to watch this video and then turn in your exit ticket. The exit ticket is only a few questions. It's just to let me know whether or not you watched the video. So as long as you pay attention to today's videos, you should be doing fine on your exit ticket. Alright, so here we go. Our learning objective, I will watch a demonstration of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, and see how water changes states due to the thermal energy transfer. So if you need to rewatch the video, it'll be right over here. Make sure you watch till the end because you need to know this information to do well on your exit ticket. So before I have you see the demonstrations that I filmed, I want to just quickly go over this diagram. Remember, evaporation is when liquid water becomes water vapor. Condensation is when water vapor becomes liquid again and makes a cloud. Precipitation is when water falls from the clouds back down to earth. Transpiration is when water evaporates from the plants. Infiltration is when water moves into the soil underground. And then groundwater is water that has collected in underneath the surface of the ground. And then we have runoff, which is when water flows across land and collects in rivers, streams, and eventually the ocean. And what powers all of this? Well, the sun. The sun is the major source of energy. It's powering the entire water cycle. The sun makes the water evaporate and it's allowing the water to change states. And then what pulls down the rain, what pulls down the water, what pulls down the water into the ground, that's gravity. So on Friday, you were supposed to do an exit ticket. This was the answer to exit ticket question number 6. If you haven't done Friday's exit ticket, please do it today and make sure you turn that in. So remember, again, condensation is pointing from the water vapor becoming liquid water and forming clouds. Precipitation, water falling down from the clouds. Runoff is the water falling down the hills and going to the ocean. Infiltration is water sinking into the soil. Groundwater is water that's underground. Evaporation is water that becomes water vapor and rises up. Transpiration is water that evaporates off of the plants and rises up. And question number 7, same thing, you were supposed to label the arrows. Evaporation, water from the ocean becomes water vapor. Transpiration, water from the plants rises up and evaporates. Condensation, water vapor becomes liquid water and makes a cloud. Precipitation, water falls from the clouds. Runoff, water is flowing through the rivers. Infiltration, water sinks into the soil. Groundwater, water that's underground. So those were the 2 diagrams in our exit ticket. Your exit ticket was in our white folder. It was due on Friday. If you haven't done it yet, you go to the white folder and click right here, the puzzle piece, and it's going to open up to our exit ticket. So make sure that you get this done. I just gave you 12 points right now. I gave you answers to 12 of the questions from the diagrams that I just showed you, so you should get it correct. These definitions, you should know how to do this based on the study guide that I showed you. So you open up the study guide and it has all the answers that you need to do well. I'm just going to go over question number 2. What is the major source of energy that powers the water cycle? Remember, that's the sun. The sun transfers thermal energy to the water particles. And one more, what's the force that pulls water down from the clouds and pulls water down into the soil? Well, that's gravity. Gravity is the force that pulls things down. So make sure you did that exit ticket because that was worth points for your quiz section. So please make sure you got that done. If you didn't, it's in the white folder. All right, now we're ready to watch today's video. Pay close attention, please. Here I have a kettle, and in here I put water, and we added thermal energy to the water. So when I pour the hot water here into this beaker, you see all the steam that is rising up. So all of the steam rising up is water vapor. So imagine in our water cycle that we have the sun. The sun is heating up the water in the oceans, the rivers, the lakes. And when the sun heats up the water particles gain thermal energy and become water vapor. So the particles start to move faster and they rise up as water vapor. So evaporation is when liquid water changes to gas state, and we call that water vapor. All right, now I'm going to show you condensation, which is next after evaporation. So in condensation, we have the cold atmosphere. So here I have a metal plate with ice cubes to represent the cold atmosphere high up in the sky. So the higher the water particles float up into the sky, the colder the air around it gets. And when the water particles touch the when they enter the cold atmosphere, the water particles in that water vapor state, they start to lose thermal energy to the cold atmosphere. So as we wait, all that water vapor that's rising up touches the cold atmosphere outside. And when that happens, we should see that the water vapor will change from the gas state back to a liquid state. So we have to wait a little bit longer, and then we'll see condensation happening. All right, so we waited a couple minutes, and like I said, the water vapor rose up to the cold atmosphere represented by this pan with ice cubes. And I lift up the pan, you see water drops that are forming, and you see that some of the water drops have started to fall. So this right here is condensation. When the water vapor touches the cold atmosphere, it turns back into liquid water. And when enough liquid water gathers together in the clouds that they form, it's gonna rain down, and that would be precipitation. So you saw a couple drops that fell. That is like the rain, the precipitation. So you just saw another one right now. So again, you saw evaporation, water vapor rising up. It touches the cold atmosphere. And when that happens, the water vapor loses thermal energy and condenses, changes back into liquid water. And when enough of the liquid water gathers together in the cloud, it's gonna rain down as precipitation. So when the water drops become heavy enough, it rains down. All right, so I left these alone for a couple more minutes. And again, you saw evaporation, the liquid water changing to water vapor as the water heated up. And then as soon as it touched the cold atmosphere represented by these plates with ice cubes, remember the water vapor is going to lose thermal energy to that colder atmosphere and change back into liquid water. And as that happens and more liquid water forms at the top, you see precipitation happening. So imagine this is like the clouds high up in the air, and as the clouds fill up with water, liquid water, it's going to start to rain down like this. The reason why water drops are forming on the cap is because the water vapor lost thermal energy in the cold atmosphere and changed back into liquid water. That's how you get water drops on the top in the cold atmosphere. And then you see rain, and that's precipitation. So again, we saw evaporation, condensation, and then precipitation. All right, so that video demonstrated 3 of the steps of the water cycle: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Those are the 3 steps that we're focusing on for today. And then tomorrow I'll show you a different demo for other parts of the water cycle. So now that you've watched today's video, you can go into the red week 10 folder and complete today's exit ticket, which is water cycle lesson number 4. So again, if you watched today's video, you should do fine on this exit ticket. It's only a couple questions long. Today's password for our exit ticket is going to be, let me write it over here. Today's password is evaporation, since we focused on those 3 things. So evaporation is the password. Please spell it correctly and do not put a space. If you put a space, then you're not going to be able to take the exit ticket. So spell it correctly. It's evaporation. All right, so go ahead and go to the red folder right up here. Click on the exit ticket, type in the password evaporation, and please get an A on today's exit ticket. If you want to rewatch the video so that you can do even better, then that's your choice. You can do that as well. Alright, I will talk to you all in tomorrow's video. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Good luck on today's exit ticket.